y'all, Crash here, and I am here to talk about an obscure comic book two-part crossover event that no one asked me to talk about for no reason at all. Idol Worship is a two-part crossover series that features Superboy and Kyle Rayners Green Lantern teaming up to face Pele, the Hawaiian goddess of fire. She's pissed. She wants her empire returned to her, and what better way to start a series than our two main characters being tossed into a volcano in Hawaii. This video is not really going to be a recap of the story itself, on the off chance it piques your interest enough to actually go read the comic, but instead I want to talk about the dynamic relationship between these two quintessential superheroes, both birthed in the 90s, both essentially birthed from the same events. Remember, Superboy is born out of the reign of Superman story arc, which is directly linked to the destruction of Hal Jordan's Coast City, which is, you guessed it, the catalyst for the birth of Kyle Rayners Green Lantern. Funny how all this ties together, right? You could say that they were both ultimate representations of 90s culture at the time. Kyle Rayner was raised by a single mother whose father abandoned them when she was pregnant. Total douche move. As a struggling but extremely talented freelance artist, Kyle kind of stumbles from one day to the next as a comic book artist. Very much a live for the now and try not to worry too much about tomorrow type of person. This attitude even persists once he is bestowed the Green Lantern ring. He takes the responsibility very lightly, and it's not till his girlfriend is murdered and stuffed into a refrigerator, you absolutely heard that correctly, that he starts taking this whole superhero thing seriously. Con-El, or Superboy, on the other hand, shares a lot of similarities with Kyle. He's brash, impulsive, lighthearted, loyal to a fault, and enjoys mixing it up with the ladies, oftentimes at his own romantic demise. He is very much a teenage boy who thinks he's the greatest thing since sliced bread and basks in the glory and attention of his adoring public. Not to mention, the leather jacket was just really cool and a bold statement that complemented his personality. Rocking a leather jacket in the mid-90s was a declaration to the world that you were punk style, anti-establishment, and proud of it. This 1994 run of Superboy is such an underrated one in my opinion, and it is my favorite version of Superboy altogether. It's also important to note that Ron Mars, who was responsible for the creation of Kyle Rayner, had taken over duties as writer for Superboy while writing for Green Lantern at the exact same time. So it's no surprise that these two characters met up and meshed together so well and share so many similarities with one another. And the similarities that they don't share synergize really well with one another. The interplay between these two heroes is really fun. Kyle plays a more reserved character who is very much unused to being the center of attention. Superboy, on the other hand, craves it, freely signing autographs, taking pictures, doing interviews, and generally really playing into the role of being Hawaii's friendly neighborhood superhero. It creates some fun juxtaposition between the two and leads to some really good dialogue. There is a uniquely human moment where Kyle is sitting down with Con-El and offers to teach him how to draw. Con-El gives it an honest attempt, but lacks the patience and finesse required to do it, and it ends up snapping the pencil. The dynamic between the two is very much a big brother, little brother type of dynamic. While each of them are relatively new to being superheroes, Kyle is an adult and has at least some life experiences. Depending on how you count, Superboy is anywhere from a few years old to a teenager at most, and so there is a level of immaturity that comes with that. At the conclusion of the story, after a bit of humbling, Superboy seems to have a shift of personality right here in these pages. It's not exactly a happy ending, and he comes out feeling down on himself. Again, this is another uniquely human moment for a kid who, by all accounts, is not really technically a human, I guess. I don't know, that's more of like a philosophical question you could ask yourself. Look, it's not the greatest two-parter in comic book history, but it's got some history. It has some heart behind it. Call me crazy, but I love one or two off stories like these hidden between major story arcs, designed as filler episodes, I guess, or filler stories in this case. Sometimes, just sometimes, you end up getting something special from them, and I consider this a special team up. Thanks for watching the video, and please hit the like and subscribe button if you enjoyed this trip down memory lane. That is all my time, and I will see you on the other side.